morning donut. Should we go get ready? Good morning and welcome to the bathroom. As you can see, I've already put on my makeup. You guys got ready with me and I did my makeup maybe, I don't know, around a month ago. I'll put that video right here if you haven't seen it. But since then, I've gotten a few requests to do my hair. So I thought I would do my hair today and show you how I curl it. I don't do this on a regular basis because it takes too much time. My hair is very long. It's too hot here for curls. Especially in the summer. I just don't have time with Story. We are up and running as soon as she wakes up. Anybody who's a mom or a parent, they know that with a child, you just don't get a lot of time to yourself to like put yourself together in the morning, unless you wake up at 4 a.m., but who wants to do that? So I'm gonna show you how I curl my hair for, I guess, special occasions. If Tim and I were to go on a date again someday, I might do this, but I'm gonna start with my dry shampoo because I showered last night, let my hair air dry, and now I'm just gonna put some dry shampoo in the roots just to make sure that any kind of natural oils don't weigh down the top of my hair. Because when I have curls, I like for it to be just kind of like voluminous, you know? And while I have a lot of hair, the strands of my hair are very thin. And so if it's greasy or wet or anything like that, then it's gonna look, you know, it's gonna just like weigh down my hair very quickly. So I like to put in this dry shampoo. This is KRISTEN S from, I get it at Target. I'm sure you can get it other places too. I like to use the pump dry shampoo. I used to use the like the aerosol spray cans all the time, but the alcohol in those really dries your hair out. So I switched to the powder. And this is essentially just like baby powder, but it's unscented. I don't know, I really like it. It's lightweight and it just works really well for me. Get a little bit of this in here and I just go along the crown of my head, kind of rub it in as I go. I really make sure to get like the front right here because that's where any kind of oils and stuff, that's where it really shows up the most. Okay, I think we're pretty good now. So I've been heating up my curling iron or my wand. This is what I'm going to be using. I do also have a 1-inch just normal ceramic curling iron that I use sometimes, but I found that if I really take my time with my hair and use smaller pieces as I go, this really defines the curl a little bit better. I'm going to be using that today. And I've got my clippy so I can section out my hair. So I'll start with I'll use my fingers and go like this all the way around my head. Grab this top section and just twist it up and then clip it out of the way. I'm going to take my brush and just brush out the pieces that I'm going to be working on. These are the pieces on the underside that tend to get kind of knotty after you put some curls in them because all the other curls sit on top, you know. So I'm going to make sure that that's brushed out pretty good. I'm going to take a section about that big and start with that. And I like to start kind of at the base and then I'll just wrap it around the wand. And then let it sit here for, I don't know, 20-30 seconds. And I leave the ends out, obviously. So there's the first curl. I will also say that with a curling iron, when you start curling your hair, you'll take it and run it down and clamp it at the end and then turn it under. With the wand, you don't turn the ends under, you just kind of hold them and it leaves the end straight, but it gives your hair just a little bit more of a natural, kind of like a tousled look versus like a really structured curl look, if that makes sense. Also, if you just hold your hair like this and wrap it around the iron, it's gonna give it more of that banana curl look. But what I like to do is take the strand and twist it a little bit around my finger and then wrap it. Instead of like a banana curl, like a spiral, it kind of gives it like more of that mermaid curl. And that really isn't very descriptive, but it makes sense to me. I'll show you what I mean. So do you see how it kind of like curls and then like it's almost stretched out a little bit versus like a really circular curl. I like that look better when it's more stretched out. It just looks a little bit more like I said, mermaid. That's kind of my style. Do you see this tail? I know not. Anytime I'm up at the sink, this cat will jump up here, knock everything down with her butt, and like just beg for pets. Any other time throughout the day, she wants nothing to do with anybody. But the second I stand here at this sink, she wants all the attention. So again, see, I'm holding the end right here. And I do it this direction with the wand facing up, like pointing towards the ceiling. Because if you look at the wand, it's tapered from the base to the tip, so it's thicker and then it gets thinner as you go up. I like the curl to be bigger at the base of my head and then taper down to a tighter curl towards the ends. Again, I think that's a more natural look. If you do it too tight around the base of your head, then it's going to start to look very like Shirley Temple. So I like the tighter, like smaller curls to be at the ends of my hair. And I know this looks crazy right now. It doesn't really look all that beautiful, but I like to curl it and leave it tight in its little bundle like this and just let it sit here and rest. And then at the end, I'll just kind of run my fingers through it and tousle it up, and then it'll stay a little bit better. While I continue to do this all the way around my head, I thought I would do a little, not a question and answer because nobody's asked me these questions, but I have a little get to know me questionnaire that I thought I would go through. I know a lot of you watching already know me, and you probably already know all these things I'm gonna say, but you may not. And then for those of you who just joined us, thank you so much. And I thought maybe you'd like to get to know me a little bit better. The first question is, who is your hero? Obviously for me, that's gonna be Tim. He's my hero. He's the one that came and saved me from a loveless life and a very insecure young adulthood, and he showed me how to trust somebody again. Not to mention, he fights for our country, especially right now. He's over in Germany, but he's my hero in more ways than one. If you could live anywhere, where would it be? Charleston, South Carolina. And we're not from here. We're actually from a suburb south of St. Louis, Missouri. We met in Missouri, but we weren't introduced in Missouri. I'll just say that. That's for another video. We'll get into that another time. But that's where we came from, that's where we lived, that's where we shared our first home together. I don't want to talk bad about Missouri because it's where I came from, you know, and you're never supposed to forget where you came from. And I do love Missouri for certain qualities it has. But I knew a long time ago that I didn't want to stay there. I was very much a Moana growing up. I wanted to go out and see the ocean. I wanted to go to the beach. I wanted to go live by the water. I took a vacation to Charleston with my girlfriends, and we did a little bit of exploring around Charleston because we had a cruise that left out of here. So we arrived like a day early, did a little bit of adventuring, and I fell in love with this city. Fast forward to several years after that, and Tim was deployed, and I told him whenever he came home from his deployment we needed to take a vacation, and I suggested Charleston because I thought, I love it so much, I think he'll love it too. Long story short again, he came with me. We vacationed here, we spent a week here, and he fell in love with it too. So we talked about it. Another deployment came up, financial opportunities presented themselves to us, and we made it our plan. We made a 2-year goal for ourselves to move our lives here to Charleston, South Carolina. We saved up the money, we set up everything that we could in advance. We went down to Charleston, we started shopping for a house, and this was in 2017 when the housing market was crazy, but not insane like it is today. So in the week that we were here shopping for a house, we didn't get anything. We put in offers and we were outbid, or somebody took the conventional loan over our VA loan. That's just how it is. And so we didn't get anything, and we were driving home. I found a listing on the MLS system, and I called the realtor and I was like, hey, this just posted. Can you drive over there and look at it for us and just FaceTime us? So we pulled over on the highway and he went to the house, which conveniently was the neighborhood that he grew up in as a child, so he knew it well. And he walked through the house, and we sat there in the car and we were like, yes, put an offer in. And that's how we got our house that we're living in today. We were on the side of the highway, never stepped foot in it, and bought it. A week later, we packed up the Penske, and house was sold. We left and we came here and we moved in. Ooh, look how tight that curl got. I probably need to answer these questions a little bit faster if we have 100 of them. What's your biggest fear? Spiders and tornadoes. More the tornadoes than the spiders. Okay, again, growing up in the Midwest, tornadoes really, really damaged me. I've never been in one per se. I've never seen one in person, but I know a lot of people. I have a lot of family members that have been in them. They freak me out. What is your favorite family vacation? I'm gonna go with Disney on that one. If you've seen some of our other videos, you're probably aware that we love Disney. We go as often as we can, and Tim and I are annual pass holders. We're just big kids at heart. What would you change about yourself if you could? Anxiety, absolutely. I wish that I was a lot more relaxed. And it's gotten worse as I've gotten older. Like when I was younger, I think I had anxiety, but I didn't know that I had it, you know? Like there are things that I remember growing up, especially in school situations and everything, where I know that anxiety played a role in how I felt about certain things. But as I've gotten older and as I have aged and become a parent, it has really started to flare up, I guess you could say. It's so bad. I wish I could just be a little bit more relaxed. What really makes you angry? Lies. Straight up lies. Yep, I don't like lies. I'm a forgiving person at heart, but lies are something I don't forget. What motivates you to work hard? That's gonna be Story. She motivates me for a lot of things. She gives me a higher purpose in life. What's your favorite thing about your career? Well, at the moment, I don't technically have a career. In the past, it was fashion merchandising and design. There's a hair in my mouth. I'll just say at my last job, my favorite thing was working with the designers at Harley Davidson. That was my account that I worked on. I loved the design process, and I loved learning about how they chose certain fabrics and certain patterns and embellishments on their apparel that fit their customer's profile. That was my favorite part. All the paperwork and all the logistics, not really my thing, but I liked the job. I did love the job that I had. I guess if you want to call this YouTube thing a career for me, some people would argue that it is, even if we're not monetized and we don't get paid, but it does take up quite a bit of time in my life. It keeps me busy while Tim is gone, but it also gives me that creative outlet that I'm lacking right now without my career. And I also love the fact that I can look back at our videos a year from now and see what we did, where we've been, places we've seen. Move your booty. My biggest complaint about my job is that I don't have enough time for it. And I guess that's not really a complaint about the job. Okay, let's see. My biggest complaint about this job, this YouTube journey, is that the algorithm is just really hard. It's just really hard to figure out. Like, I'm doing this for me. At the end of the day, this channel is for me and my family, but it's also something that I can see growing into a livelihood. And if you want it to become your livelihood, you have to do things in a certain way. And if you're on YouTube, you know. If you're not on YouTube, there's a lot behind the scenes that you have to learn about. There's a lot of SEO that was never part of my career path prior to this that I had to learn. There's a lot of learning curves. It just takes a lot of time for your channel to grow, and you don't really get the exposure that you think you're gonna get when you put a video out on the internet for the world to see, because YouTube picks and chooses where it suggests your content. With that being said, I want to thank all 45 of our subscribers, because while we don't have very many, the 45 that we have mean everything to us. You guys are the ones we're building the relationship with. You guys are the ones that care about what we do every day. You guys are the ones that care about getting to know us. Without you guys, these would just be home videos. What's your proudest accomplishment? Story, by far. She was the hardest thing I've ever done, and she's the hardest thing that I ever will do. Being a parent is hard, and every day I go to sleep feeling a sense of accomplishment that I never, ever got with any job that I've ever had. What's your child's proudest accomplishment? Right now, it's going potty on the big girl potty. What's your favorite book to read? Recently, I finished You're a Badass. Jen Sincero, is that how you say her name? I don't know if that's how you say it, but I loved that book so much. I'm not going to get into it because I have more questions to answer, but I will link the book down below if you're interested in reading it and you like personal development books and you need some motivation in your life. read this book. What makes you laugh the most? I love laughing. That's my favorite thing. If you can make me laugh, you're my friend. Tim and I love stand-up comedians. We love Brian Regan, and we love, oh my goodness, what is his name? The Italian guy, Sebastian Maniscalco or something like that. I'll leave those links below too. They're hilarious. Other than stand-up comedy, just like Tim makes me laugh, and that's part of the reason why I love him. I'm only on number 14 and I have 100 to go. I don't think I'm gonna finish these all today. Maybe I'll try to get to 25 and then finish the rest later. What was the last movie you went to and what did you think? Oh my gosh, when was that? I don't know what the last movie was that I saw, but I remember the most recent movies that we went to the theater for. It's been a while. I think we saw Lion King. Tim and I actually, yeah, it was in Texas. When we were in Texas, he was deployed in Texas, and Story and I lived there with him for like 6 months. We had one night where my mom came down to visit, and she watched Story for us, or like sat at the apartment while Story slept, and then him and I went out to see a movie, and we saw the live action version of The Lion King. And I remember thinking like it was good, but it was weird seeing animals talk because it was live action and I know that that's not real life. It was hard to blend the two things. I think I like Lion King better as a cartoon. What did I want to be when I was small? An astronaut. That's the very first thing I can ever remember saying, I want to be this or that. I wanted to be an astronaut. But whenever I got bigger and I was in school, that wasn't like a cool thing, and so I kind of lost that dream. What does your child want to be when he or she grows up? Don't think she knows that yet. She's 2. If you could choose to do anything for a day, what would it be? Sit on the beach, in a chair, looking at the ocean, drinking something. That's what I would love to do, and just not have a single worry in the world. I don't see that happening anytime soon, unfortunately. I just don't. But one day. What is your favorite game or sport to watch and play? Don't like to play sports. Don't really like to watch them on TV. But when Tim's home, he watches the Blues, and I'll walk by and look at the score. If we get to go to like a sporting event, I like to go see the St. Louis Cardinals. That's probably my favorite thing to watch. That or the St. Louis Blues. But it has to be in person, again. Like, I don't like watching these things on TV. It's too hard. I don't have the attention span. I'm almost done with my hair, so I'm gonna do a few more. Would you rather ride a bike, ride a horse, or drive a car? Ugh. Oh, that's so situational. Well, whatever. I'm gonna say drive a car because I haven't been on a horse since I was like 10 years old, so that scares me. Riding a bike, I like riding bikes, but it's real hot and sweaty here, so I don't really want to do that right now, so I'm just going to say drive a car. What would you sing at karaoke night? What would I sing at karaoke night? You know what the first thing is that pops up into my head? The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air theme song. I was thinking to myself, like, what do I know all of the words to? And I don't think there's a single song that I know every single word to, but Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, when that's on TV, yeah, I got it. What 2 radio stations do you listen to in the car the most? I don't even know what station they are, to be honest. I have it on one station, but I have it on like a local station that plays classic rock, I guess. So it's all stuff from like the 80s and late, or like the 80s and early 90s, I guess. Which would you rather do? Dishes, mow the lawn, clean the bathroom, or vacuum? Definitely not mow the lawn. Here's a fun fact for you. I've never cut grass in my life, ever. And I figure since I've gone almost 36 years without doing it, I'm gonna keep on going with that and try not to ever have to do it. That makes me sound like such a little brat, but I do other stuff. I mean, you saw me clean mold out of Tim's truck. I think I'm gonna say wash dishes. I'll wash dishes. I don't mind doing that. If you could hire someone to help you, what would it be with? Cleaning, cooking, or yard work? Yard work. Cut my grass, please. If you could only eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be? I'm gonna go with, like, Mexican. Like Mexican nachos. There have been several nights where I don't have time to eat dinner and I will just eat chips and salsa for dinner because I don't have to cook. I don't have to prepare. I pop that jar open and get my chips and that's dinner. So I'll say Mexican because that's kind of a go-to for us here. We always do Mexican food. Whether it's like tacos or quesadillas or whatever, we love Mexican. And then number 25, who is my favorite author? Ooh, I did that too tight. That's gonna be really kinky. Let's stretch that out a little bit. Okay, but here's a good example of that kind of spiral curl. It almost looks like a DNA strand or something. Like it kind of stretches down. It's not so much like a cylinder. See what I mean? Does that make sense? So if I were to leave my hair just like this, that's what it would look like. Very kinky. So what I like to do is just kind of flip it, run my fingers through it. And there it is. It's pretty, these curls are pretty tight for my preference, but it's humid here, and give it 10 minutes outside and it'll fall. But that's it. And then you can just flip it over and it's just kind of a little mermaid curl. Ooh, also I forgot that the last time I went to the stylist, she trimmed these pieces around my face so they're a little bit shorter than they were before. I forgot about that. Anyways, favorite author? I have to say right now, because my favorite book is You Are a Badass, it's gonna be Jen Sincero. The way she writes is like you're talking to a girlfriend, and she's just telling you how it is, like very matter of fact, and it's very empowering. That resonates with me, so I really enjoy her books. I think she has a few more too, and I think I'm gonna try to find those and read those also. That was 25 questions with Ashley. I think that's it for me. Yep, Story's awake, so I'm gonna have to go get her. Oh my god, this lighting is so much better. I wish I had this lighting in the bathroom. But there's the curls. I wish I had somewhere to go, but I don't. It's fine. This will actually last me now a couple days, I think, because these curls are so tight, and then if I put some hairspray in it, I can probably like get another day or two out of these without looking too frizzy and crazy. I don't even know if you can see this or if it translates well on camera, but there's the back. If you do this at home, when you're doing the top layer of your head, like these pieces up here, hold your hair in the curling iron for less time so they're not so permanent. You know what I mean? Not permanent, but they're not, that way they're not so kinky. But I think because I was talking and I was just carrying on, I just left it in there a little bit too long, but it's fine. Like I said, we're not going anywhere. Who cares? I think that's going to be it for me. 25 questions with Ashley. I hope you feel like you got to know me a little bit better. I'll do the rest of them later. I don't know if it's going to be like the next week or two, but like I'll start doing this again maybe like in a month or so and just kind of make this a little mini series of getting to know us, and then I'll have Tim do the same thing so that you guys can kind of get a little better feel of who we are and where we came from. So I hope you liked it. Let me know in the comments below if you did. Thank you again so much for watching, and we'll see you Wednesday with a little adventure from me and Story. Bye!